Hey everybody! Hey there everyone, this is Chris Brown, your real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur, and wanted to welcome you guys to another episode of State of the Real Estate Market with yours truly, Chris Brown. So thank you guys for being on board and being a part of this. Where this is a channel where we not only talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we also talk about generational wealth. And we also, in addition to that, speak in reference to different alternatives that are out there in regards to entrepreneurship. There's so much going on that I even dib and dab in a few different things and like to bring those topics up because a lot of people that are buying, selling, and investing in real estate, they are also additional entrepreneurs doing different things, as well as just trying to find additional streams of income. And that's what this is all about. But today's topic that we're going to talk about is top 5 living alternatives after you have sold your home in 2021. Now, this is a big topic because a lot of people are getting into the market and they're like, hey, I can sell my home for this amount, but what do I do if my home is under contract in 2 or 3 days? And what do I do next? And where do I live next? So that's what this episode is about. If you are interested in this, definitely stay tuned. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's the YouTube channel that we have. It is growing. We're going to keep doing some different things to keep attracting people and bringing value to everyone that is interested in this channel. Like, subscribe, share this information with someone else. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get involved. All right. So as we all know, we are in a seller's market. So being in a seller's market, it basically means that we have a high demand of individuals or people that are wanting to buy a home, and there's not a high supply of homes. So that meaning that the inventory is low right now. If you guys have been following me, I previously did a video on a new wave of buyers that are just entered the market and they have additional money. And that was in reference to the student loans. There was a lot of individuals with student loans and they were looking at FHA loans. And with FHA, traditionally, even if you weren't making payments on your loan, they considered a payment of 1%. So if you had a $100,000 student loan that was out there, then you're looking at a 1%, about $1,000 per month payment that they would calculate into your debt to income. And with that being said, that makes a big difference as in what you're able to afford on a monthly basis. So keep that in mind. So that actually has changed to about 0.5%, which makes a big difference for a lot of people. So their purchasing power has increased, as well as has allowed individuals to come into the market and actually be able to be competitive in today's market. So keep that in mind. But the things that we want to talk about, let's go ahead and dive into it. So 5 living alternatives that I wanted to chat with you guys were about lease option, renting, retirement funds, having patience, and then new construction. So these are the top 5 alternatives that people have when they are in the market today. So if they get their home sold, we'll go ahead and start with the top, lease option. Now, lease option, and I want you guys to pay attention to this because lease option these days, it's different from what a lot of people are traditionally used to in a lease option, where you pay a certain amount, you put down a huge chunk of money, and then you have a monthly payment. Well, there's different programs that are out there, and they call it the lease option program. With this program, you're able to purchase a home, but also be able to make offers on homes that are for sale that are on the MLS. And what this does is when you're searching and shopping for homes for a home that you like, you're like, okay, well, that's a home that I want to do, but why would I do a lease option when I have financing or something in place? Well, the reason is because some of these new programs that are out there, they consider it a lease option, but how it operates is that they actually make a cash offer on the home that you're interested in. So as you can imagine, in today's market, there are a lot of cash buyers that are buying homes, and people are getting beat out because they may have some type of financing in place. And with that financing, there's different contingencies that are also involved. And with those contingencies, there's still the unknown if those homes will actually close, because there's so many different contingencies that are within a contract. So with that being said, with these new type of programs, and I'll probably do a separate video on the lease options that are available to people, but it is a cash offer that they present, and it gives you that much more leverage. Addition to that, if you were to go this route, you would be able to close faster, just because you don't have all of the alternatives to go through and all the contingencies of a contract to actually have to go through. And it also gives you an opportunity to kind of test drive the home, because it is a lease option. You are making a monthly payment per month, and then actually at some point you can exercise your option. So in today's market, people are like, well, why would I do this? There's different reasons why you want to do this or could do this, because you can get into a lease option. They're doing a cash offer. If your cash offer is accepted, you get into the lease option. The thing is that now, the way that homes are going, homes are increasing in price about 3% per month versus as 3% per year. So as prices continuously go up, you're looking at an opportunity where you can go ahead and do a lease option, but then exercise your option possibly within the year. So it gives you an opportunity to actually test drive it. And then also another pro to this is that you actually have a roof over your head, because so many people don't know what they're going to do. So if you're in the buying process, you sold your home, or your home is under contract and you need to buy another home and you need to move fast, this is an option for you. All right. Now, some of the cons with this, don't get me wrong, and I'm looking over here to my right because that's where my notes are, is that the home initially is not yours yet, because it is a lease option. So keep that in mind. With the lease option, you're traditionally making a monthly payment until you exercise your option. Once you exercise your option, then the home is actually yours. So keep that in mind. So it's not 100% yours once you get into the lease option program. Your monthly payment may be a little bit more than a typical mortgage payment, but there's pros and cons. I said that's a con because you're going to be paying a little bit more than you would for a mortgage payment. But at the same time, would you have received this home, or would your offer have been accepted if you didn't go this route because they presented them with a cash offer? So keep that in mind. And another con I wanted to share with you guys is that you still have to get your financing lined up. So if you had some possible hiccups in your credit, you still got to get your financing in line, because you still need to exercise the option of the home. Because like I said, the situation hasn't stopped. It's just that this gets you into the home, gets you the home that you wanted. And then also what it will do is give you an option to go ahead and test drive this home and then exercise your option. So that's the lease option. Now, with a second alternative, and a lot of people may or may not like this option, but it may be the right option for some people. And I've actually had clients that are currently renting a home. They were in the process of selling their home. They sold their home. The home sold faster than what they expected. Then they got into the position where there's like, hey, I really don't want to shop in the current market. So with them doing that, they ended up renting. Or maybe a situation was like, hey, I have a little bit more time on my hands. I need to get some things in line. Let's go ahead and go with the renting option. So if you did decide to rent, you're looking at a couple of different things here. So pros would be you would have a roof over your head and you would have that stability. That's key, right? Another pro, you wouldn't have lawn care anymore. If you owned your own house, you would have lawn care, unless you're in a townhome or a condo. So if you're renting, you don't have to worry about certain maintenance of the property, all right? Then you also have a chance to get your affairs in line. So if you have additional bills, if you sold your home, now you can take the proceeds from that home, pay down on your credit, pay down on your credit cards, and then which will eventually help improve your credit. If you have bills that are out there, go ahead and get those paid down, which places you into a better position as credit worthiness. So that is another pro to that. Now, some of the cons would be if you guys remember, when you're renting before, you're sharing a space, and it's not so much, you may have a neighbor on your left, you may have a neighbor on your right, and then you may have a neighbor above you, and then you may have a neighbor below you. So if you're moving into an apartment or some type of rental property, you're looking at a possibility of that type of living condition. So the conditions won't be the same. You won't have the same freedoms. Another, I guess, pro to this situation, or excuse me, another con to the situation would be is, if you're taking out your trash, if you owned your own home, traditionally what you were doing was taking your trash and you just roll it to the curb. Now you actually have to take it. Some people place the trash bag on the hood of their car or on the trunk of their car, and they ride it to the dumpster, to the local dumpster that's at the beginning of the complex, typically. Expect to pay more. In today's market, even places that are renting right now, they're catching on, and what they're doing is they're actually increasing their rental rates. Rental rates were already high. I'm not sure which market you guys are in, but I know in the Tampa Bay area, rental rates were high, and they still are high. And that was one of my key things in telling people, hey, why rent when you can buy a home and own a home for less per month than what you're renting your apartment or your townhouse for, which is very true. So you may be spending a little bit more per month, but like I said, this may or may not be an alternative for you. Expect to pay more. And then storage costs. Typically, when you're moving into a place to rent, it may or may not be the same size. If you're living in a house, a four bedroom, 3-bedroom home, you're probably trying to find something that's of equivalent so that you can have a lot of your items still within that home. But a lot of times what happens is we end up having to get a storage unit. So that's an extra $120, extra $150 per month that you're going to have to place into storage, because your home, whether you knew it or not, was a big storage place for you. If you had that garage space, all those items that you used to place into your garage, you don't have the garage anymore, or you may not have the same size garage anymore. So keep that in mind, that you may have some storage costs, and that may cost you anywhere from about $120 to $150 per month. And as these different services are realizing what's going on in the market, they're increasing the prices, because even for them, their demand is increasing. So this is kind of creating a domino effect. Whatever's going on in the real estate market, it's creating a domino effect in other markets as well. So keep that in mind. Now, a third alternative is your retirement funds. What a lot of people are facing right now is that they're getting outbid when they're submitting offers. So what people are doing, if they have the funds to actually pay all cash, or if they have the funds in their retirement where they can take the funds out of their retirement, wherever it may be, and use it to purchase a home. So that would be a pro, because that places you into a position to be able to purchase a home. Now, another pro in this process would be is it would allow you to actually pay over the appraisal price, which a lot of people with financing aren't able to pay over the appraisal price. Now, you would say, why would I pay over what the property is worth? I completely understand you. It makes sense. However, but also keep in mind that the value of these homes are continuously going up each month. So it definitely takes not only your time and also your knowledge, but also takes, if you are working with the real estate professional, another reason to work with the real estate professional, or someone who is actually paying attention to the market and actually is able to analyze how the market has been for the past 6 months. Because right now we're in the middle of 2021. And if they are traditionally seeing a trend of these prices going up, then that means that your property value may go up as well, even if you may pay a little bit over. Because you got to figure, if you are paying cash and you're paying above what it appraised for, now you just set the bar for your community. So that means as people are seeing that happen, they're actually probably going to put their homes up for sale, and they're either going to go at the same price or even more, because they see that people are willing to buy in that market. So if you're paying over appraised value and the value, what you're paying is above it, Why are you doing that? Is it because you're just throwing out offers, or is it because you're in a multiple offer situation? If you're in a multiple offer situation, then it's a situation where there's probably more people who want to buy in that same community. And then with that being said, other people and homeowners are thinking the same way. Hey, I could probably go ahead and put my property on the market because this home just sold above appraised value. And I can put, now I know that the new bar is where that property was sold at. So keep that in mind. Then you also have, you would be able to close fast because you're in a position that you're able to close with cash alternatively. If you were to use your retirement funds, you would have your home. So keep that in mind. And then also a big thing, and this is a big pro in this process that a lot of people aren't aware of. And I just recently found out about this, and I'll be doing actually a big presentation in regards to this, is that there are alternatives out there that if you use, say, your retirement funds or even pay cash, whatever your situation is, that you pay cash for your property, you can actually use certain products that are out there that will allow you to refinance your home, but not only just refinance your home, but it allows you to refinance it at a rate at an interest rate that is as low as the purchase interest rates. If you're familiar with refinancing a home, a lot of times when you refinance a home, you're actually refinancing it at a higher interest rate. When you do that, your payments may be a little bit more. But if the interest rates are as low as an initial purchase, then that's beneficial because you're not losing as much money in there and you're able to pay back and put your funds back into your retirement. Whereas you can utilize it for what it was originally for retirement. But it's just an alternative to help you out in the current market to be able to, if you do find yourself in that position, how do you get those funds back? Refinance the property, pull that cash out and put it back into your retirement funds. And then now you're on a traditional 30-year mortgage. So that is an actual pro in this process. And like I said, I'll definitely be chatting a little bit more about that product and keeping you guys in the loop on how that actually works. So what are the cons to the retirement funds? Because, obviously, if you're playing with your retirement funds, it's a little risky because we basically have a retirement fund because we're saving up our funds so that we can retire. We don't want to mess up that nest egg there. So with that being said, some of the cons is, one, you got to pay it back. Ideally, you do want to pay it back because that's why you have it set up that way. Okay, you have it as a retirement fund. All right, so that would be one of the top cons in that situation. If you are pulling funds from your retirement funds, there may be some fees involved. There's ways around those fees, but that's always a reason why you would need to reach out, and depending upon what type of retirement fund vehicle you have, looking into what are the alternatives of you taking a loan out. What would the payments be? What is the repayment? What are repercussions, pros and cons with that? So whatever your retirement fund vehicle is, be sure to look into that if that may be an alternative for you. So be able to keep that in mind. And then it's just the traditional, just having patience. You have to have patience in this process. If you are a buyer in today's market, you have to be aware that if people were buying a home a year ago, things have changed. And what I mean by things have changed, the process, the time frame that it takes for you to actually purchase a home has completely changed. In the past, and I can say for the past few years, I've had people that are saying, hey, Chris, I need to move out of my apartment and I'm looking to buy a home. Okay, well, when is your lease up? Oh, my lease is up in a little bit less than 60 days. And I'm like, what? So less than 60 days. I mean, like traditionally the process takes, even once you find the actual house that you want, the process takes 30 to 45 days. So that really gives us less than 30 days to actually find a home. And that's shopping, looking around. And that has been the process, I would say, at least for about the past 4 to 5 years. So, and that's how my business has ran, where people would reach out to me where they're a month, maybe even less than a month away from moving out of wherever they were, an apartment, in a rental situation. That would be my first time home buyers. Or to be a situation where if the property does sell fast, now we got to, find them somewhere to go quickly. So with that being said, the process takes much longer now, and it does anticipate at least a couple of months before you actually find the home. Not a couple of weeks, a couple of months before you actually find the home that you're looking for. The inventory is low right now. It's not that, and people that are placing homes on the market, some of these homes are what I would call market ready. And then some of these homes are just being put up for sale. There may be some repairs that are needed. There may be some other issues with the homes, but they're placing it up for sale because they know there's low inventory and there's such a high demand that if a home needs a roof, they're still going to put that property on the market. They may fix up everything else on the property, but the home may need a roof. And there's not going to be much room for negotiations because you're going to have so many other people that want that same home. Same thing if it needs cosmetic work done to it. Sellers aren't taking the extra time. Some are, don't get me wrong. Some are because they want to make sure that they get that top dollar that is possible. They're taking care of the little things, cosmetic items, because they know if they do that, they're going to get top dollar and top offers and multiple offers because they did do that. Now, you do have some sellers that may not be in that position to take care of all of those items, but they did place the property up on the market and say, hey, what can I get for this? So keep that in mind. Having patience, if you do go that route, there's just a couple, but the cons would be is one being buyer's fatigue. You kind of get burnt out looking at a number of homes, not only looking at a number of homes, but then you're putting in a number of offers. You're like, I offered over asking. Yeah. Thanks, but no thanks, because it may be a number of reasons why they didn't accept your offer. That's another story for another day, but there's so many different reasons why offers are not being accepted these days. Another con would be is just that because you are in a rush to purchase a home, you may be settling for things that you traditionally did not want in your next home. So keep that in mind if you do decide to go this route, having the patience and the reasons why it's going to take much longer. And the last con I would say is the stress levels. Depending upon your family dynamic, if you are a family where you have kids, you have different things that you need to worry about, because if the kids are in the process of going back to school, you have to find this home that is one maybe in the school district or maybe of convenience to you and your family for specifically location, or you need to move by a certain date so that you can get certain things in place, such as the kids going to school, making sure that you can get back and forth to work, make sure it's a certain distance from your job. I have a couple of clients where right now they can only live a certain amount of minutes or miles away from their actual job. So keep that in mind. So if you do decide to go this route, those stress levels can get pretty high. So have the patience. Having the patience is very key. And the last one that I want to talk to you guys about, and I have it at the number 5, is new construction. Well, new construction has been a top alternative for a lot of buyers. And like I said, that has changed. And with it changing, they've also been impacted because of the pandemic and the repercussions, not only the pandemic, but then they also have been impacted by the domino effect. So their material costs for new construction has gone up. So a lot of times, they may have a projection of how much it may cost them to build a home and then how much they're actually going to charge the potential buyer. With the material costs not only going up, but it's gone up significantly, it has changed the dynamic of how the business has ran. So with that being said, it makes it a challenge because now not only are supplies, the prices have increased, but the inventory of supplies is also low for new construction. So new construction is actually making some changes as in how their process goes. Obviously, a pro would be is that you would know where you're living. If you decided to go new construction, you know where you're going to be living, and ideally you know which model that you're going to select. And when I say you know, because you know the community, then you also know the lot. Traditionally, that's how that process works. And then also, if you do buy new construction, you have those same benefits as in, you know, once it's completed, it's warranted. So you don't have to worry about the AC going out, you know, a few months down the road. And if it does go out, I won't say you won't have to worry about it at all. But if it does go out, you know that you have an alternative and it will be taken care of with the warranty, and that you're not going to have to come out of pocket of significance. And those are some of the pros to that. Now, some of the cons with new construction, like I said, that process has changed. And I say it's a con, and it's not so much a bad thing, but it may be an obstacle that you really need to think about. So one of the big things that's come up a lot lately is, when will the home be ready? So previously, a lot of people were doing new construction and they would just see a lot there. It would be just dirt. Now, new construction, because of some of the obstacles that they're going through with materials and material costs, they're changing their process where they won't even place a home up for sale until it is actually gotten past a few stages of the new construction process. And these are the inventory new home construction builders. So keep that in mind. Now, if you are working with a custom new construction builder, then you may have a completely different story. But keep in mind, there may not be an exact date of when that property will be available. So that has changed. So, but they are doing different things, and different builders, especially in the Tampa Bay area, are doing different things to try to reduce that stress on any buyer, because we understand that, or they understand that, a buyer is making certain sacrifices so that they can be in their new home by a specific date. So keep that in mind. Also, with that being said, since there is a low inventory, some builders are going through a bidding process, whether it may be bidding for a lot, bidding for a particular home that is coming up that will be available for sale. They're going through a bidding process as well. And that can be good and that can be bad, you know, because someone's that's been waiting and they actually qualify to buy this new home, but now they're actually having to compete for this actual home. Before, it used to be as if you signed a contract and you put down your deposit, that home was yours. Now they're saying, hey, we have this home that's going to be available. Now we're going to tell this waiting list that we're going to do a bidding process. What is your bid? What is your offer? So keep that in mind. The new construction process has changed. And the last one is the value there. So like I said, sometimes some builders are having some issues with the pricing point because it's costing them so much more to actually build a home. They've had to increase the prices so that they can maintain the same margins. And when they're doing that, the property may be in a position where the appraisal value may not be there just yet. It may come a few $1,000s short or shy. So they're being aware of that, and they're also looking at situations as in, what is your offer? You know, is it straight financing? Because with certain situations where, if it's FHA or VA, you may be in a position where, if the appraisal is not there, and you're protected because those are government loans, so you're protected in a situation where if the property does not appraise, that you're not forced to move forward, and you would be would receive your deposits or any monies that was put forth back. And with that being said, what are you going to do next? Now, if you have the additional funds and are willing to pay the overage, that's another way of winning a bid as well. But keep in mind, is the value there? So there you go, guys. But just want to kind of talk to you today about these 5 living alternatives. Is something that's different. A lot of people haven't thought of these. Like I said, lease options. I know I said lease options, but it's not the same as your traditional lease options. I've said renting, but things have changed. Like I said, if you haven't done this in the past 12 months, these may not be the same traditional paths that you think they've been, say, in the past. So keep that in mind. When you are out there and you are selling your home, and if you are thinking about selling your home, as I always offer, there is a free site that'll give you a home value. If you go to showmyhomeestimate.com, you'll be able to get an estimate on your home and the different things that are going on in your specific community. So if your community if you have a home that you're thinking about selling, it was like, oh, what's the activity? What's the sales activity in my community? That report right there will give you a lot of information, and it's not just for the Tampa Bay area. So it's throughout the United States. You just enter your address and it'll give you the details and so forth. And it actually nice big report, and it can have it emailed to you directly, and it takes about 2 or 3 minutes at most. However, if you are in the Tampa Bay area, be sure to check me out. I'd be more than happy to help you. I do a free home evaluation for anyone that is thinking about selling. Be sure to check me out at realestatewithchrisbrown.com. That is my website, where if you want to get additional information about me, as well as like I said, if you're just thinking about being in the market, there's so many different things that are out there that and alternatives that are out there that you can be exposed to. And I want to make sure that I'm bringing that value to you. And for all my people that are social media friendly and would like to follow me, be sure to follow my handle at Chris Brown, RE Pro. A lot of times I just list a few different things that's going on in my life, what's going on with me, different events that I'm doing. And as always, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because when you do that, and you also do the notifications, you'll get any new videos that are dropped each week. And with that being said, I want to make sure you guys are staying in the loop, especially my sellers that are out there. But like I said, this is a channel where we not only talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we also talk about building generational wealth and different things entrepreneur-like that's going on in today's world. So with that being said, you guys take care. My name is Chris Brown, real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur. Peace.